Coaches Connection, connecting you and the greater DMV to local sports programs, as well as the coaches that inspire our local youth.
Welcome to another edition of Coach Connection. I'm Farrar Tate, your host, and today I'm really honored to introduce you to an amazing young man that chose to go to Dunbar. He chose to go to Dunbar because of the athletic department that's there, helping him and his team members be professionally proficient at their craft. Without further ado, my brother, tell everybody who you are.
My name is Daequan Harvin. I'm a senior at Dunbar. I run track and I also play football.
Got it. Been an athlete for how long, brother?
About 4 years.
Okay. And tell us, you made that decision to go to Dunbar. What was that about?
So at first, like coming in, had schools like Gonzaga, St. John's. I was a pretty good athlete in middle school as well as like Pee Wee League.
Okay. So hold on. You've been playing since Pee Wee League. You didn't just start it. You talking about, I just started in Dunbar. I got this good, just started. No. Take us back there. When did you start being an athlete?
I started playing football when I was about 6 years old.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And so you chose Dunbar after all these people looking at you. Tell us why.
After talking to Coach Bink, that's our head coach up at Dunbar. Just talking to him, man, I just got a different feel opposed to talking to coaches at Gonzaga and things like that. Football is very political, so it feels like a boss to employee kind of connection. When I talked to Coach Bink, it literally felt like, okay, you're a coach. Not only are you a coach, but you're someone that I can entrust in. The program was struggling at the time, but that really didn't matter. I believed in Coach Bink's dream, and from there, it was just ball game.
Got it.
A no-brainer.
Yeah, a no-brainer. And what has been the impact of that decision? You're a senior now. Give us a little bit about what has that 4 years been like. Give us a little history.
It's been amazing. As a freshman, I put myself at the top as far as track-wise. I played a little bit of JV. I had to still work. 10th grade, we got to win the not the national title. We won the Turkey Bowl. Yeah. 2019. So. Man,
you running on that field and then running off and champion. That had to feel. That had to.
It's a different type of feel, man. We was crying. It was really emotional because it's like the program has been kind of in like the dirt and the ditch for a couple of years, and then to get that win, to get that title, it was like Dunbar was coming back, so it was an amazing feeling. Then COVID hit, so 11th grade year we didn't get to play football or do indoor track, but I got to do outdoor track.
Okay.
So that was pretty cool, and that just got me like coursing. That just got me going. I was like, man, definitely.
Yeah. So all of that decisions, how has it impacted your life? How does it help you being the man that you are?
As far as what?
As far as you are a man who is like making intelligent decisions. I heard that you are an honor roll student, and so you are not just somebody sitting home playing video games, bro. I know you've been he's a modest brother also too, but talk about that impact that this athletic department has had on your life.
Running track and playing football, it has allowed me actually to not become another statistic. Without football, without track, I'd probably be, somewhere running around, ripping around with my friends. There's been a lot of instances where I've been at football practice or track practice. I've been, in the gym training where something might have happened in my neighborhood or something might have happened on the way, on my way home. And things like track and football have actually saved me because I no longer have time to be ripping and running in the streets. I'm always training. I'm always weightlifting. I'm always doing something to better myself athletic-wise. Just because of them circumstances, I'm away from all the nonsense. And I put myself on the path to get out of DC.
Right. And I want parents and people who are watching the show to understand what he just said. He understood that being where he needed to be, working on himself, and being there with your team members, saved him from being some other places that you could have been. Tell us about that neighborhood you grew up in.
So I come from Searching Quarters, just like any other neighborhood in DC. It's sometimes you get entangled up in a lot of, nonsense that you probably should have, but it's where I grew up at. It also made me. It's where my father was from, it's where my family was from, so just growing up, I have a lot of connections to it. I have a lot to thank to that, as well as a lot to kind of like I don't want to think to it, if you get what I'm saying. Right. I got you. It's a rough neighborhood. It was a neighborhood, a community filled with all love. Everyone wanted the best for one another, but at some point you got to realize, like that's not the life that I want to live.
Right.
And once I realized that, I had to kind of shift away from the negativity and put myself on a better path.
So academically, you're excelling in the track and field, on that football field, you're excelling. What's that core discipline that you have made a part of your life? Like, what's that thing that when you think of discipline, right? Everybody can't do what you're doing, you know? So what is it at your core that is pushing you through making this your reality?
Really just the thought of trying to get out of DC and really, like I said, stated earlier, not becoming another statistic. It's not too often that you hear, you know, a black kid that has a 4.3 GPA. We are taught that school isn't really cool. Like, the norms are being on the block, you know, playing with your friends, doing whatever you need to do to survive. I don't think that we realize that, or I don't think that we have normalized that through education. That also can be a route that we can take to better ourselves, better our families, better our community. So just me being around and seeing the gentrification in DC, seeing how all these things are going, I put myself on a different path. So in the back of my mind is always, you know, if I don't do this or if I don't want this for myself, I will become another statistic in DC.
Got it.
And that has just motivated me to keep going.
Yeah. And your neighborhood is changing tremendously.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of people, that change scares them. But I'm hearing that change has motivated you to realize that you got this whole world to look forward to, right?
Yes,
so what's next? You decided Dunbar. What are you deciding now? Because I know you got options, brother.
So I recently just came from Wisconsin, actually, from the 9th through the 11th. So now I'm going through college tours. I'm seeing how all these scholarships and stuff going to play out. You know, I'm blessed to have the opportunity to have academic and athletic scholarships. So now it's to see where home feels. Yeah,
that's your next. It's good to be able to decide now, but a lot of young persons coming from high school, you know, don't have those decisions, man. You know, they've decided not to go back to school. They ain't even graduated, right? You have walked over all of that into putting yourself in a situation where you have the grade points, right?
Yes,
you have the platform of being able to be in multiple athletic disciplines. What could the community look like when a community looks at a young man like you, when a community looks like at your team members, what do they don't see? What do they don't see? Because see, we see you running and we see you catching balls. What don't we see that makes you and your team members unique?
They don't see the hard work that we put in. It's a lot of devotion and a lot of dedication that has to happen in order to make things like, in order to make a good football player, in order to make a good track athlete. Listen, track is one of the most brutalist sports as far as training wise. Like, we've been running our whole lives, running and walking. How could running be so difficult? Just the time spent, like it's hours, it's days. It's, you know, some days you might can't go out with your friends. You know, there's gonna be times you're gonna have to sacrifice. You might can't go to a family event. You might can't go to this, you know, this cookout. You gotta
making those decisions. And so we want you to decide now. Those of you who are watching, you're going to be able to see some of his work. Stay tuned. But I want you to know that you can come to Dunbar because his coach said so. That you can come to Dunbar not only and see them participate in their sports, but you can write a check. You can literally make a decision to sow into this whole athletic department at Dunbar. Would you tell everybody, what does it mean when you're running and you see the community up there cheering you on?
Man, it's a different feeling. Tracking is really a sport that's normalized in DC. Man, you mainly have football and basketball. Like, we're taught that football and basketball is the way out. If you don't do football or basketball, then you got to revert to other options. Seeing fans and seeing people that you love, seeing your community in the stands while you're running an event, or even if you're on the football field, even if you're on the basketball court, it just gives you a different momentum, a different motivation. It's like, man, it's like, I don't know what hit me, but it hit me, and it's probably the best thing for me.
Yeah. And that's what you have a chance to be a part of. A young person's now knowing that they're running or jumping into their future. So one more time, can you give us just a glimpse of what you know tomorrow has for you, even past school? What are you looking forward to?
I'm really looking forward to make a difference. Be an influence to the youth. Be an influence to just anyone. Honestly, my goal is to is to be something bigger than myself. I feel like I said, it's some of the things that hasn't been normalized in DC and, you know, smaller communities. I just want everyone to know, like, it's okay to be that geek, that nerd in school. It's okay to take the route that your friends and your family, like, it's okay to get rid of that peer pressure and take a different route for yourself.
So share this with somebody else young. What you just said is real. It's okay for you to be excellent. And that's something that you live by, brother. And I know for sure that you're going to carry that until the rest of your life.
Yes, sir.
Excellence is a part of who you are. And I'm proud to know you.
Thank you.
All right? Another edition of Coach Connection, introducing you to an amazing athlete that you have the opportunity to touch by supporting.
Coach's Connection, connecting you and the greater DMV to local sports programs, as well as the coaches that inspire our local youth. This show has been brought to you by the Scholar Athlete Sports Network, SASN.TV.